Now, this may have taken a while, but I finally jumped onto the AI bandwagon because it seems that everyone talks about AI. And I thought to myself, you know what? I have not talked about AI. I've not written about it until now. How hard is it to integrate AI functionality into Drupal? Well, the answer is it's actually pretty easy. And that is thanks to the OpenAI module for Drupal. Now, the module ships a bunch of submodules, and this is great because you can pick and choose exactly what you want enabled on your site. And in this video, we're going to look at two of the submodules, and that is OpenAI CKEditor, which gives you a nice button where you can generate text and also ask questions to OpenAI. And the second submodule that we'll look at is called OpenAI Content. Now, this submodule gives you assistive tools where you can summarize text, you can generate taxonomy terms, and you can also extract tone out of text. So with all of that, let's jump into our Drupal site and have a play with the module. If you open up Google and search for Drupal OpenAI, you will see that there are a few projects. You have the OpenAI one, you have OpenAI Client, API, metadata, connection, images, text classifier. But the one we're interested in is all the way at the top, and that is simply OpenAI, because the usability of a module starts with the name, and this one is called OpenAI, which is simple. And if you take a look here at the included submodules, we have OpenAI API, which is the main module that integrates with the API for OpenAI. And then you have a bunch of other submodules: audio, ChatGPT, CKEditor, content, devel, dblog, prompt, embeddings. Now, the two that we're going to focus on in this video are OpenAI CKEditor and OpenAI Content. And I'll cover the other submodules in separate videos. But I want this video just to focus on using OpenAI to generate content. So let's start things off by downloading the module. Scroll all the way down and copy the composer command, jump over into your terminal, paste it in, and then hit enter, and it's going to go off and download the module. Now jump over to your Drupal site. Now this is a freshly installed Drupal 10 site. Let's go into extend, search for OpenAI, and simply enable content tools and CKEditor integration. And that's going to go ahead and install the OpenAI module. Now, the first thing we need to do is set up API keys. Go into configuration and then scroll down, and you should see OpenAI and settings. If you can't see it, then go into performance and clear your caches. But if you can see it, click on settings. And what we need to do is generate an API key and grab the organization name. So click on this OpenAI website link, and I'll open that up in a new tab. Go to login or register a new account and make sure you are logged in. Then click on API. Then in the top right, click on your user account, then view API keys. Make sure you generate a new key. And what you need to do is copy this key into the API key field, then click into settings. And from here, you can get your organization ID. So go ahead and populate these two fields with the API key and the organization name or ID. Once you've configured the API key, head over to configuration, and then click on text formats and editors. Because remember, we installed a CKEditor submodule, so we need to configure the button in the editor. Click on configure on basic HTML or a specific text format. Scroll down and you should see this OpenAI button. Click and drag it onto your active toolbar. If you can't see the button, first of all, make sure you've installed the submodule, and that is the OpenAI CKEditor submodule. If you still can't see the button after installing the module, clear the cache. Now, once you've moved the button onto the active toolbar, scroll down and you should see OpenAI Tools in the plugin settings section. Then make sure you enable it. And from the default model dropdown, you can select GTP4 if you want, or all of these other ones. Let's just leave it at 3.5. Then below that, you have temperature. And honestly, I'm not 100% sure what this is used for. It must be some API settings. And then below temperature, you have max tokens. Now, this token stuff, I kind of understand. So here you can control how much is actually sent to OpenAI. Now, depending on the model that you select, some support 2048 tokens all the way to 4097 tokens, but it really depends on your model. And if you want to learn more about the models, just click on this models overview link and it will take you to a page that pretty much explains everything. Let's close these tabs because they're no longer needed. Scroll down and make sure you click on Save Configuration. Okay, so at this point, we have downloaded the module, we have configured the API keys, and we have added the OpenAI button to our editor. Now we are ready to actually use it. So let's go into Content, click on Add Content, Article, and let's call this article Getting Started with Views in Drupal. And then if you scroll down, we have our editor right here. Then we have our OpenAI dropdown. And the first one is text completion. So if you click on it, you can actually ask ChatGPT some questions. So let me add in a sentence, which I prepared earlier. And this is, let me make sure I've written it correctly, write an introduction section for a blog post about getting started with views in Drupal. Click on that. And down at the bottom, you will see this OpenAI status, and this actually changes depending on what is happening. And that's a good way to see if something is actually happening. And then here we have our actual response from OpenAI. The blog post will provide an introduction to views in Drupal. Okay, that's not the best introduction, but you can kind of see how it works. Now, the other options that we have, adjust tone/voice. If we select a bit of text, and then click on adjust tone/voice. And let's say we want to make it funny. So make it funny. Let's see what this actually generates. It's going to go off. You can see here the OpenAI status. It's telling us that it's receiving a request and that the request has been completed. And now we have a funny version of the introduction to this blog post. Get ready to have your mind blown. This blog post is about to introduce you to the magical world of views. Okay, it's okay. Yep, it's kind of funny. And then if we select this text and click on OpenAI, we can then summarize it. Of course, this will then go ahead and simply summarize that bit of text. But it's important to remember that you need to select the text that you want to summarize. And that's the same for adjusting the tone and the voice. You need to select the text first. Then if we select this bit of text, we can even translate it. So if I type in French, it'll go ahead and translate it to French. Now, of course, I can't verify this. I don't speak French, but it kind of looks French to me. And then finally, we have reformat and correct HTML. So if I type in href, let's see if this actually works. Would this reformat the HTML here? Because this will technically get sanitized if I place it in there. Anyway, let's give this a test and see. This is the best way to figure things out. It's going to go ahead and, oh, whoa, that actually worked pretty well. This was the first time I was testing it. That actually worked pretty well. All right, that is actually pretty cool. So if I type in href, blah, 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 and then type this in /test. No, actually, let's type in /contact and then contact us and type this in. So let's just imagine we have migrated a whole bunch of content and the data hasn't come across nicely, which happens a lot in migration work. We can select it and reformat it. It'll go ahead, reformat it. That is actually pretty cool. And then come along in here and it has formatted it correctly. Yeah, okay, I'm impressed. And then of course you can go ahead and simply remove that bit of text. That is actually pretty useful. I do like that. All right, let's remove this bit of text again and I'll paste in my original prompt. All right, and let's also remove these links. And then here on the right-hand side, we have extra tools. Now, these options are provided by the OpenAI content submodule, and this allows you to analyze text. So we can select a field. So let's select body, and it'll go ahead and analyze the text. And it'll tell us that the text does not violate any content policies, which is great. Not really sure what that does, but anyway, yeah, that's good. Then we have adjust content tone. So this is pretty much the same as adjust tone / voice, but I do believe that the option within CKEditor is a little better because you can actually select the text and then simply adjust it from here. But if we do it from this section here and click on adjust tone, it'll give us a different tone depending on the chosen tone. Now, the other benefit of using these options here on the right is that you can select other text fields. So I guess that's the benefit, whereas this will only work with the editor. Then if we scroll down, we can go ahead and summarize the text. And then below that, we can have a title suggested for us, which is actually very useful. And I have used ChatGPT for that in the past because I don't like creating titles. And then below that, we have suggest taxonomy. So this will give us a bunch of taxonomy terms, well, most importantly, keywords. And that will give us actually pretty good keywords. So blog post, introduction, views, Drupal, and module. Now, of course, if we had a proper article written here, it'll give us better content. So as you can see, just by installing these two submodules and setting up an API key, you can add AI functionality directly into your Drupal site. So that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about Drupal or other CMSs, head over to webwash.net. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. And also don't forget to like this video. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel so you get notified whenever we upload a video. Anyway, that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.